150,000-year-old metal pipes discovered under pyramids in China. An ancient relic that precedes human history. After discovering this special structure, a series of questions were raised. Who could have built such a complex structure 150,000 years ago? The time when humans are said to have first started using fire. The Beigong pipeline is one of the great mysteries of the ancient world. They were found inside a heavily eroded pyramid located on top of Mount Beigong in Qinghai Province, northwest China. This collapsed pyramid once had 3 triangular entrances on 3 of its sides, but over time 2 of them have collapsed and are now inaccessible. Remnants of iron and unusually shaped rocks protrude from the surface, suggesting that the site was inhabited long before that. The only remaining cave entrance has an intricate network of metal pipes, up to 0.45 meters in diameter. Accordingly, there are dozens of such pipes running straight up the mountain, but where they lead, no one knows. Inside the cave there is a pipe about 40 centimeters in diameter. Half of the pipe runs obliquely from top to bottom. Another tube of the same diameter leads from the wall of the cave to the ground. Only the mouth of the tube is exposed. Above the cave entrance, there are more than 10 pipes of different diameters penetrating the mountain bed. The wall of the pipe perfectly fits the rock, as if the pipe is plugged directly into the rock. These tubes, no matter how thick or thin, all have a rust-like reddish-brown color. Some archaeologists who have visited the site have speculated that pipes may have once supplied water to the pyramid. This theory seems to be supported by numerous strange tubes found on the shores of nearby Lake Tosan. They also come in a variety of lengths and diameters, some rising above the water, others buried below. Intrigued by these ahead-of-time artifacts, the Beijing Institute of Geology analyzed the Beigong pipelines using a technique called thermoluminescence. This method allows them to determine when the pipes were last subjected to high temperatures. Analysis shows that these pipes must have been manufactured 150,000 years ago. Scattered around the pyramid and on the shores of the lake were a large number of pipes, rusted iron debris and irregularly shaped rocks, and a number of pipes running down to the lake. And the mystery is deeper. Analysis conducted at a metallurgical plant operated by the Chinese government was unable to determine the exact composition of the pipelines. Although the pipes are composed of iron oxide, silicon oxide and calcium oxide, they also contain 8% of unidentified material. It seems that 8% of this element does not come from Earth. Moreover, the air here is very thin. To say that the iron pipes built by man at that time were very unrealistic, because a place like this could not be made of iron at all. Experts say that 8% of this element could come from aliens, or from the deep ocean, or from the underground world. And until now there is still no way to explain what the mysterious material is. According to previous studies, the presence of humans in this area only started 30,000 years ago, but they mainly lived in nomadic tribes. Accordingly, it is completely impossible to form a primitive society that can build such sophisticated structures. Various theories have been put forward to try to explain who might have built these pipes, and what they might be used for. One of the theories is that this is the remnant of an advanced civilization in the past that has been forgotten. They may have built some mysterious facility and need water for cooling, and Beigong pipes are responsible for bringing water from the nearby lake to serve this requirement. The large amounts of silicon dioxide and calcium oxide in the pipes are the result of a long-term interaction between iron and sandstone. That shows that these pipes have been around for a long time, engineer Liu Shaolin, who performed chemical analysis said. However, it is interesting that north of Beigong Mountain there are 2 twin lakes, one containing fresh water and the other containing salt water. But there are no pipes around the freshwater lake. Instead, all the pipes are located on the south shore of the saltwater lake, with a height of 50 to 60 meters. Why did this ancient civilization need salt, or more specifically, salt water? The answer is most likely electrolysis. When an electric current passes through salt water, it breaks down the structure of the water into hydrogen and oxygen. These components are the fuel source that is very necessary for the operation of modern high-performance engines, especially airplanes, jet engines, etc. Therefore, many people have assumed that the real owner of the construction of these pipelines may be a special civilization, a civilization that may not be man-made. The special thing is that on this desolate and harsh land, there has never been a presence of modern industry. Only a few nomads live north of Mount Beigong. Therefore, locals think that the strange structure is probably a tower left by aliens. The crop circle in the neighboring desert. In the desert near the alien ruins overnight, a circular pattern with a diameter of nearly 2,000 meters appeared. This is reminiscent of the mysterious circles in the barley fields of Europe, but this desert circle is much larger than the ones in the barley field. Although the circle appears in the desert, the motifs and drawings inside it are similar to those in Europe. So far the desert crop circle near the alien ruins remains a mystery. Whether this ancient relic is really where the alien spaceship once stopped remains a mystery. This place has now become a local reserve and tourism area. A Myanmar woman turns into a man after waking up. According to the French newspaper AFP, Than Zine, formerly Thin Sondar, a Myanmar woman who has aspired to be a man for many years. But for fear of people ridiculing her, she did not dare to perform transgender surgery. However, one morning after waking up, she discovers that she has male body parts, and he, is considering whether to get married and have children. On the morning of June 21, 2005, Thin Sondar, a 21-year-old girl, living in a small town 19 kilometers from Myanmar's capital Yangon, woke up and was stunned to discover that her genitals had completely transformed. The male genitals grow out while the breasts disappear. On July 6, 2005, Thin Sondar told reporters about his strange experience at home. Thin Sondar said, "I am 21 years old this year. Since I was a child, I have wanted to be a boy. I hope to be brave like men, to be able to protect my sister from being bullied by others. The older I get, the more I aspire to be a man. When I saw a lot of information about sex change surgery on TV and newspapers, I really wanted to go for surgery. But I was afraid to embarrass my family, so the desire to turn into a man became an unattainable dream. But one morning, when I woke up to go to the bathroom, I was surprised to discover that I had male genitalia, and my breasts were nowhere to be found. Although I always wanted to turn into a man, I was still very shocked at that time. I quickly called my parents, and as a result, I turned into a man." Referring to this, Thin Sondar, now Than Zine, still couldn't hide his excitement. He said that since he knew he became a man, he had resigned from his job because many people came to his house every day to visit. At first, people didn't believe that a woman could turn into a man overnight, but when they saw Than Zine, they truly believed that such a miracle existed. As for why Than Zine was able to become a man, most people came to the conclusion that he was inherently intersex. This conclusion angered Than Zine. To prove that he is neither intersex nor transgender, he went with his parents to a local hospital. However, the hospital's conclusion was that they also had no idea what was going on. In an interview, a doctor who examined Than Zine said, "In order to solve Than Zine's problem, some hospital experts discussed with each other, but after a round of examination, we found that Than Zine's physical state was normal. All were like a man, the female features were all gone. The hospital can only say that this is a miracle." Than Zine's gender change has attracted the attention of local authorities. A government spokesman said in disbelief, "This is truly incomprehensible. No one could explain why Thin Sondar suddenly changed sex overnight and turned into Than Zine. His household registration shows that he was definitely a girl when he was born, not intersex, which has now been reported to the National Health Ministry. In the near future, a team of experts will come here to conduct an additional check on Than Zine. I believe that by then there will be a reasonable explanation." Although there are many different opinions, Than Zine, who is immersed in excitement, does not care anymore. On the contrary, he is currently using his free time to make reasonable plans for the future. Talking about the future, he is full of hope. "Now I am very happy because I can finally lead the way as a man. Although I haven't figured out what I want to do yet, I am sure that my future will be very bright. I can marry a beautiful and kind wife, and also hope to have children of my own." Is this simply a miracle, or is there some truth that current science has yet to explain? But in the larger biological world, the instability of the sex of cells and bodies is not an isolated case. 2-year-old boy claims to be Princess Diana reincarnated. Ladies and gentlemen, if one day your 2-year-old son suddenly declares, "I am Princess Diana," and the child insists on saying so, what will you do? In today's video we have such a story. Moreover, it is famous and repeated many times on British television. Princess Diana was killed in a car crash in 1997. But a boy in Australia named Billy Campbell has claimed to be the reincarnation of Princess Diana. In 2019, Australian TV presenter David Campbell, then 45-year-old Billy's father, wrote in Stellar magazine that, "My son claims he is Princess Diana, and has been making this strange claim since he was 2 years old, and has claimed it." David claimed it was the strange thing he had ever written, saying, "It all started when someone gave my wife Lisa a card with Diana's picture on it." Billy, then 2 years old, pointed to the card and said, "Look. This is me when I was a princess." Billy also told a Scottish friend of their family that, as Princess Diana, he went to a fairy tale castle. The castle has unicorns on it, and the name of the castle is Balmoral. Balmoral Castle is the Scottish home of the Queen of England. David wrote, "Unicorns are the national animal of Scotland, and there are unicorns on the castle walls." How did he know this? Things got weird when the boy saw another picture of Diana. After claiming to be her, the boy also mentioned the princess's death at a young age in Paris in 1997, emphasizing that "I am the princess." But what really makes things weirder is Billy's memories of that fateful night. One day, when the police siren sounded, and I was no longer a princess, he explained. Billy's parents were shocked and decided they needed to investigate. "This is a child who knows nothing about the monarchy," said David. "How can it know? Our family is not obsessed with members of the British royal family, there are no related memorabilia at home, and we never discuss the subject." Closing his program, David asked himself, will Billy remember this when he grows up? Is he really the reincarnation of Princess Diana? Did Diana really reincarnate as a boy? From 2019 to now, the boy does not seem to mention this issue anymore. David is still very popular on Australian television and he regularly posts pictures of his children on Instagram.